Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCG Fam Show. Thanks to you, my YouTube buddies, for checking us out. Today is Tim McCormick. I've been promising that because a few of you have had questions about Cultured Biologix, especially Brian Finney. You had like 11 questions, so I think we got them all answered. But I also, in the show, we'll be talking about Tim being on the show more. So anyway, Tim was here. I had a TV up here. It was live. We did a thing with him. It wasn't live. It was live. So anyway, that's what's going on. That's the video I'm going to show you. So watch the video with Tim, and then I'll talk to you after. Hey there! I'm here with Tim McCormick, live on the internet. Tim, what's going on?
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
I'm good. So this is our first, like with the screen kind of situation going on thing on the show. It's going to be super fun, I think. I'm excited you're here.
Me too. First time for everything, right?
Absolutely. So you've got some stuff you wanted to talk about. The Nectar Fam page on the Cultured site. What's the deal with that?
All right. So the past couple months, what we wanted to do, since we have so many Nectar Fam users using our teas, we wanted to give you guys your own designated hub. So what we wanted to do was make sure that you have yourself, Nectar Fam, a page on our website where you can go through and see why we put cultured products with Nectar Fam products, specifically Nectar for the Gods. So go on to www.culturedbiologix.com, go to our Nectar Fam page in the top, right-hand corner, and you can download our charts, application charts for if you're using one shot. Here's the cultured nectar products you need to use. If you are using the Spartan, Greek, Roman regimen, these are the products you use with our culture teas on your tea day. So we want to give a nice, easy tea day portal for you to learn and for you to access the application charts of how to use Nectar for the Gods products with Cultured Biologix teas. Awesome.
So what are these charts? There's a couple different charts on there?
Yeah. So everybody has kind of a different way to use Nectar products. You have some users that just go outdoor in their 200-gallon, 500-gallon smart pots, and they amend their soils with lots of one shot, and they don't use very many liquid nectar inputs.
Right.
So we wanted to give a schedule for those guys. And then what we also wanted to do is for the guys using the Spartan, Greek, Roman regimen, they're going heavy on a liquid. So they kind of have a different application use of their nectar products. So we wanted to give a different tea day chart for those people using the liquids. So you have a one-shot user chart, and you have like a liquid nectar chart.
So it's more liquids versus one shot, but it's kind of an indoor versus an outdoor scenario somewhat.
I like to look at like amended soils versus using like you just amend like all your one shot, all your foods in the soil. So you use very minimal liquid nectar. So we wanted to really encourage the use of Herculean harvest and Kraken in with your tea days, because you're not using Herc or Kraken because you're relying mostly on the one shot. So for the difference would be like if you're using the Greek regimen, where you're using all simple 6 products.
Right.
You're using tons of Herculean harvest.
Oh yeah.
You're probably using Bloom Chaos. So you're probably using 6 tablespoons per Herc and mid flower. So we really don't see a need to use Herculean harvest on your tea days. So that's why we designed kind of a more altered schedule for your liquid users that are really going heavy on the Herculean harvest.
So this is why originally when you had the chart, it had the Herculean harvest on there, and then you didn't have it on there. People were asking what's the deal with that, is that you were making a one-size-fits-all, and you've amended that to be kind of a several sizes for several different kind of things.
Right, kind of a 2-size that fits all nectar users. Because not everybody uses it the same, so we kind of want to make it at least customized for the approach you're using with nectar.
So, but when you say that, just like the nectar feeding chart, that this is a starting point for that, if this is kind of the baseline of what you would do, and then they'll amend that and work with that as they see with their own garden and their own plants.
Oh, absolutely. Like you have different microbial additives. Like you have SLF 100, you have Photo Plus, you have Mammoth P that you can always add into your cocktail of teas. So if you have the whole auxiliary line, you can use everything from Peg Potion to Persephones to Tritons to whatever. If you only have Herculean harvest on hand or Kraken on hand, make a Kraken tea.
Cool.
It's really how you want to really go about it. It's just a baseline formula for you to build on.
Beautiful. Well, that kind of covers that. Let me ask, I got a couple more questions for you. I got some user questions. The first one is samples. People have been wanting samples, and people said that you didn't have any. We had some samples here. We had some, you didn't have any. So what's going on with getting samples?
So we did run out for a short period of time. In fact, so many people came onto our website at once that it crashed our sample engine.
Nice.
To kind of let us know that, hey, we have samples ready to be sent out. So first our engine crashed. Then we ran short on the samples. So, but now, since the new year, we are fully stocked with samples. We're ready to go. So if anyone wants to come experience what Cultured Biologix has to offer for their tea days, visit culturedbiologix.com, go to the contact us page, and there's a nice little simple, easy sample request form to fill out.
So you were a little surprised with how many people were coming after you.
Yeah, I think at one point in time it was I think we got up to 100 or 200 sample requests in 24 hours.
Good Lord, wow. Well, it's a good problem to have, eh?
No, it's a very good problem to have, and our back end just did not expect that, and so our back end just went...
Well, I think that's when you make a website, you just get the regular website software that they have. You think, oh, I'll be fine. You don't know that you're actually going to work what you're doing. Who would have thought?
Right, or the low capacity, different. You can buy the cheap version, you get closer. If you buy the expensive version, you get more reliability. But it's a learning curve for us too. So we're past it.
Cool.
We're basically handled it.
So we'll put links to both of those things, to the website, the website itself, the Nectar page, and the sample page in the comments of the video here, so you can get to those easily. But it's culturedbiologix.com. That's the website.
Yep, culturedbiologix.com.
Beautiful. Okay. And then I have a couple more questions. You ready for some questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. I know that people have had some questions about the product.
Yeah, we've been getting quite a few in the comments. Our most persistent questioner has been Brian Finney. He had a bunch of questions. I got 3 of them here. They all kind of fit together, and they all kind of fit with what you're talking about. But just hoping you can go into a little more detail. The first one Brian had was, can you use trigger and bloom?
Yes. The short answer is absolutely. We recommend using an early flower. So once you hit day 1 of flower, you can foliar spray it 2 to 3 times a week, or you can drench it once a week. But you want to stop after about week 3 of flower.
Okay. So, different with a pepper plant versus some sort of flowering type plant.
Yeah, so with the peppers and the fruits and the vegetables, you have a phase after blooming. You have a fruit phase, and then you have a fruit set. But this fruit is very reliant on calcium.
Okay.
So in order to have a good fruit set, in order to have a nice fruit grow, and then not have premature fruit drop, the plant needs a lot of calcium and amino acids, which is why trigger is perfect for fruiting and fruiting plants and vegetables like peppers. However, you can spray it on that fruit, and then it's not going to harm the fruit. The fruit's not going to absorb it, and you're not going to smoke the fruit.
Yeah.
So a little bit of
one would hope.
Approach.
There is a guy that did it.
I don't recommend that. That was miserable, but just. With flowering plants, the bud of the flower has capacity to absorb things. So once the bud sets, that's when we want to stop spraying just about anything on it. Enzymes are an exception, but you really don't want to spray past week 2 or 3 of flower on a blooming plant like that.
Okay, so the foliar is just done at that point, generally.
Yeah, foliars are usually done around week 2 or 3 of flower.
Okay.
That's usually where you want to cut them out.
And then if you were doing a pepper, would you go right on through the flower, or you'd lay off while you're in heavy flowers, then once your fruit starts setting, you'd hit it again?
Yeah, I would hit it right before flower, I would hit it during flower, and I'd hit it again right after the fruit set.
Okay.
And then once you have that nice little knob on there where the fruit kind of starting to form,
Right.
Give it another spray and then watch it go pretty much.
Okay.
And it just helps. What trigger does is it just helps prime the plant. So we really don't need to go past week 2 or 3 of flower or go past fruit set, because what trigger does is it just primes it. It triggers the plant. It primes the plant to begin that phase. So it primes the plant to go into budding. It primes the plant to go into fruiting.
So we're not doing this to protect the flower. We're doing it because it just won't do any good. That's when we want to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of redundant. It's not going to do too much because the plant's already packed with calcium and amino acids where it can just go through the roof. You know? So.
Cool. Okay. So next question. How would that vary with different types of... Well, I just asked you that one. We got right into the questions. I had it in my brain. So this is the next one. What else would you use with cultured on your tea days? And this, I guess, in bloom or even in veg or wherever you're at. Like you mentioned SLF100, Nectar products. I guess, what you would use maybe foliar and what you would use as a root drench and what those would be, that would go with trigger on your tea day.
So for tea days, you have your veg tea and you have your bloom tea.
Right.
So what we want to do is it differentiates whether or not you're using one shot or whether you're using all the liquid line. If you're using one shot and that's all you're doing and you're using minimal nectar additives, I recommend using Herculean Harvest all the way through. I recommend using Kraken all the way through. You know, really go heavy on those.
Okay.
Peg Potion, Veg, Triton's Trawl, Megamorphosis, and Bloom. But if you're going with just like, if you're, I use the Greek regimen personally.
Right.
So if you are using, you know, the basic 4 plus the Demeters plus the Athenas, you're using Herc all the time. So what I recommend if you're using the liquid line is sans out the Kraken and sans out the Herculean Harvest. So remove those two. So in your veg cheat days, if you're using the Spartan, Greek, Roman, your veg cheat days are going to be Peg Potion and the culture teas.
Okay, mixed all together as a root drench.
Yeah, as a root drench.
Okay.
Your bloom days are going to be, you know, your bloom culture, the EZT bloom from Cultured, and then you're also going to be adding in your Megamorphosis from early flower to mid flower. You're going to be adding your Triton's Trawl from mid flower to late flower. You're going to be adding your Persephones. Okay. So you're not adding the Herculean Harvest, and you're all doing those as drenches once a week, pretty much throughout your regimen with the feed teas. So, you know, you just want to adjust it to, if you're using a lot of Herc, you're not going to use Herc in your teas. If you're not using a lot of Herc in your feeds because you're relying on like an amended soil, you're going to put Herc.
Okay.
You know.
And then,
Herc load.
What about foliar type things?
So, real quick before we go on foliar, adding on to the teas, once you put the nectar in there, you've pH'd it properly, then you put the culture teas, feel free to add the SLF100, feel free to add the Photo Plus, and Bloom, feel free to add the Mammoth P.
Okay.
You know, all those are really good microbial additives to a baseline tea like Cultured Biologix teas. So that's what I mean when you want to get into customizing it, use our baseline nectar tea charts, but then add different microbials to there, add a different spectrum, add more diversity to your teas.
Are you saying use Photo Plus early and use Mammoth P late? Did I hear you say that?
Well, I mean, you know, I like to use Photo Plus in veg and flower. I like to use Mammoth P just in flower. I like to use SLF all the way through. You know, so it just depends on how people like to use their microbial inputs. Okay. And then I think that was that. So and then what about the sprays?
What's that?
For foliar sprays.
Yeah.
My favorite go-to foliar spray is with the trigger. I add some Peg Potion, I add some Kraken, and then I'll add some Photo Plus in there.
Okay.
And I get great results with that foliar spray. You can add some Poseidonzyme. I add some kelp in there as well.
Okay.
But that's my baseline foliar spray for my nectar sprays.
Okay, and you basically just have one foliar spray. You don't mix stuff up, or I mean, as far as like mixing it up with different sprays at different times or different.
Yeah, I'll cut Peg Potion out in like early flower.
Okay.
And I'll just use Peg Potion as like my veg spray. I use Poseidonzyme all the way through because it's a good kelp product.
Sure.
Trigger, I'll start foliar spraying mid to late veg into early flower. So what I really want to do is actually make like a nectar fam chart. So for foliars, instead of having all these rambling off 6 or 7 products, I want to figure out when we want to actually use what product.
Sure. Okay.
I want to make a nectar fam chart of all the things that, you know, all the nectar fam products that we use. You know, even full on SLF100, Photo Plus, Cultured Biologix, Bigfoot. I want to make some nectar fam charts for foliar spraying, for cloning, for transplanting. Which kind of, I guess, leads us into where you're going with this next, is kind of like advanced nectar tutorials, right?
Yes, because we have Scott is working with us doing the bottles. He's going to talk about Athenas, Aminas, and Demeter's Destiny. Then we're going to go on through the whole line. But I've been talking to our YouTube buddies that you've been doing this for a long time, not just your own cultured thing, but the part of the Nectar Fam and part of the groups and all that you've been really working to build this stuff up, to learn how to do it, and that you're an expert in the field, a noted voice as far as that. Would you, how can we make something for everyone that would be part of that show? So we'll have Scott doing what the bottles are, but as far as like the techniques of using it with the Nectar Fam products and all that stuff, something that we could do together to make that work on the show.
Absolutely. I would love to demonstrate and show the Nectar Fam really how to use these items, because like there's so many good items, but there is a lot. And there's a place and time for each of them, and it's just about learning and knowing what place and time it is to use
Sure.
these. You know, so I want to put together really nice, easy charts of going, I just use, transplanting. I use some Bigfoot, I use some grain-fed worm castings, I use some Dr. Root, and I add some SLF100 to it. You know, the great transplant mix. So really show people how to use these Nectar Fam products together to give us the Nectar Fam results, the things that we are all doing together as a community, just making it really easy for the simple users to the expert users to have a nice, easy, way to do
Okay,
it.
so this would be maybe more, we kind of start with more of an intermediate type nectar thing of like where you go when you get past the feeding chart, what's the next thing, and using the other stuff. So you got something in your mind as to how that might go, as like a schedule for that, as to what would be first, what would be second, what would be third? What would be the first thing we would start looking at with something like that, do you think?
Well, after you get past the chart, I would definitely look into foliar spraying. Foliar spraying is a good additive thing to do with nectar. You can get better growth rates, you can get quicker growth rates, you can get better yields off just foliar spraying. So learning how to foliar spray is a real good one. An IPM regimen. I know you guys
integrated pest management
is doing your own pest management protocols for them. That would be the next thing, is understanding how to kill bugs.
Okay.
And then after that, I would say everybody germinates seeds, everybody clones, and everybody transplants.
Sure.
So it's very important that we as a nectar fam teach each other and learn how to do those specific things.
That sounds great.
So yeah. Oh, one more thing, recycling soil. I see so many questions about recycling soil. I want to teach you guys how to recycle soil with the Nectar Fam products. So that's on my to-do list also.
So what do you think about coming out and doing some videos?
I think that's a great idea.
Well, cool. Let's do that then.
I don't know why I'm not out there right now.
Well, just hop on a plane. We'll do them today. It'll be fun. Well, cool.
Soon. We should definitely go out.
Okay.
We should came out some videos soon and do some real demonstrational videos.
Okay. Well, then let's plan on you coming out, but also we'll do some more of this stuff. So you want to come back next week and talk about some stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, then that's that for today. I think that was all the questions. If you got any more questions for Tim, he's going to be on next week, and we're going to do that. And then soon, we're going to have him come out. We'll do some videos. So that's that. All the links to the stuff are on the page, and if you want to buy some of that stuff, you can go to our site, use the code OCGFAM2018, and you'll save 20%. It's going to be super fun. I'm having fun. You having fun?
I'm having a blast.
I can tell because you're so excited. You just look like you're just bubbling with excitement.
Let's do it next week.
All right. So that's the show. Thanks a lot. Okay, so that was fun. Tim is going to be on the show more often, it sounds like. So that's cool. So I'm going to put all the links to all the stuff we talked about in the show down in the comments. And then let's talk in the comments about what we want to get out of Tim as far as having to be part of the more advanced nectar track, what kind of information we need, and what kind of framework that might take. So let's talk about that after the show. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. For more information about anything on today's show, go to our website, OCGFAM.com. The OCG Fam Show, it's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. Oh, yeah. OCGFAM2018, that's the code. Save 20%. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.